30 seconds or less. You can't explain libertarian philosophy in 30 seconds or less if it's pure, perfect libertarian philosophy. Can't explain it. But you can explain that you want smaller government, limited government, lower taxes, less spending. You want to follow the Constitution. You believe in states' rights. It's not the federal government's job to force people at gunpoint to buy health insurance from a profit-making insurance company. You can explain that. You can explain that you don't want to give trust to the people that put us $12 trillion in debt, and when you count unfunded liabilities of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, $100 trillion in debt. You don't want to trust them with your health insurance or your life. Thank you.
May I do it in a minute? Why are the polls showing such a high support for libertarian philosophy? Did you ever think of that? Where did they even hear the word? It came from a Republican that was our 88th nominee for president. This libertarianism is sweeping the country with or without the Libertarian Party. They'll say Libertarian, but they won't say Libertarian Party. Why? They understand the philosophy now. Do they understand that the Libertarian Party represents it? And what does Wayne offer? We're going to go be moderate. We're going to go and not scare the horses. We're going to go and make sure that the people understand that we're encouraging the conservatives to come over. Why? Why would they? They already got a place. We need to drive this culture towards an understanding of the freedom that awaits them by having the revolution up here. And we already have it started. You're not going to put this genie back in the bottle. We have an opportunity to get in front of the parade and benefit from it.
The reason people are now starting to use the word libertarian because they think they're libertarians, and on that point, Ernie and I agree, most of them probably are not libertarians, but at least they're leaning that way, is because of Glenn Beck and Ron Paul and John Stossel, people that some people say aren't libertarians. Glenn Beck, I think Glenn Beck is a very strong, moderate libertarian who believes in everything we do fiscally, but on the social level, still learning. But he's getting there. You watched Glenn Beck just a couple months ago. He had on a couple of guests, and they asked him about gay marriage, and they pushed him hard, and he said, I don't really care what people do in the privacy of their own bedroom. That's the first time he's ever said that. We are getting publicity because of Fox News, and Glenn Beck, and John Stossel, and Judge Andrew Napolitano, and Wayne Root, who's been on Fox News 50 times in the last year, and who just got invited today to be on Fox News again next week. They want me to fly to New York and be there with my daughter, who's been homeschooled for life and was accepted at Harvard last week. Those are the stories we need to tell, ladies and gentlemen. You want to win elections and win over America, introduce them to a homeschool dad whose kids go to Harvard, not someone who says we should legalize heroin. It won't work. You can't sell it. It'll turn people off and it'll scare them. And I know. I'm doing it every day on TV. It works. Thank you.
Hey, our first speaker for the next question will be Mr. Root. There is a perception that the Libertarian Party represents only the white male baby boomers. We know this is not the case. What do you plan to do to make it clear that this is not the only demographic represented and to promote more diverse enrollment?
Well, it's been my number one complaint about the Libertarian Party, and here it is again. Every event I go to is only white men. There's nobody else in the room. Look at this. It's all white men. And that's a problem for the Libertarian Party. But guess what? Tea parties, not that they have any great amount of minorities, but at least tea parties are about 50% women. That's a big step in the right direction. And that's the big debate I get in with Ernie. I aim everything at my wife and her friends. You don't want to aim things at libertarians. We're already pure. We need to bring in others to win elections. My wife didn't start out as a libertarian. She started out as a Christian Republican. That's who you've got to go after. People who are not libertarians. You've got to go after Democrats. You've got to go after, here's the groups that I wrote about in my book. The Conscience of the Libertarian. Empowering the citizen revolution with God, guns, gambling, and tax cuts. I wrote the book right after the 2008 election. It's been the number one book under the category of libertarian books at Amazon.com for 10 consecutive months. And that book predicted a citizen revolution led by a coalition of libertarians, yes, pure libertarians, conservatives, angry, disillusioned Republicans, independents, blue dog Democrats, because that's the only kind you can get, because all other Democrats believe in gigantic, usurping, overwhelming, dominant government, and they will never go for the Libertarian Party. Well, trust me, I've been on so many liberal TV shows, I can't tell you. The first thing they say is, you guys are crazy. We want bigger government. Government has to take care of people. We want a bigger safety net than there already is. We have to go after blue dog Democrats, independents, gun owners, Christians, small business owners, taxpayers. Those are the groups that are angry. And once again, I'll give you my policy walk. I've studied the polls. Do you know that Americans at this point really love Tea Parties? Do you know what the breakdown is? Something like 90% of all Republicans love Tea Party values. Something like 85% of all independents love Tea Parties. 15% of Democrats respect and like Tea Parties. I'm going after the group where all the money is and all the support is, and I know it's working because I get as many as 50 to 100 emails a day from Christians who call themselves conservatives and now leading libertarian, and Christians who call themselves Christian libertarians, and conservatives who now say, I'm a libertarian conservative. We can form a coalition that can win elections. But it can't be pure, and you're going to have to hold your nose, and the conservatives are going to have to hold their nose. Because yes, I believe the war on drugs is corrupt disaster, and I believe that certainly marijuana should be legalized, and I'd love to go even further. And I believe that gay marriage government should just stay out of it. And on those issues, I'm winning them over because I'm very moderate in the way I explain it, and I don't make it my #1 central overriding issue. In the end, we agree on smaller government, lower taxes, less spending, the Constitution's importance and adherence, states' rights, and school choice. Everything comes down to choice and freedom. And if you stick to that mantra, you win over the Tea Party crowd, you win over conservatives, you win over Republicans, and we are in the media day and night. Not only me, but all of you, as I train you around the country, do the same thing. Thank you.
Mr. Hancock.
I should pay you for being my campaign manager. You know, the one thing is, you know, talk about Glenn Beck. I'm on the radio 4 hours every day on 3 networks. I get all the call. Every time I bring on a new state affiliate, New Mexico is just coming on this next week, and I already know what's going to happen. They'll come in with the same kind of stuff, and my other audience, after gone through this, they go, "Oh, give it to him, Ernie. Here it comes." Well, here it comes. Glenn Beck. I knew what was happening in the Tea Party and Glenn Beck. It's controlled opposition. They say, look at all these people. They believe what we tell you they believe. I knew that wasn't true. They diminish in number. I go to these. I've been going to Tea Parties ever since the August. They just keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The people in support of Dr. Paul, the percentages keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. They are angry. They're angry at people that run these things that there's so much influence from the libertarians. They're going to be taking it over philosophically. This that you see on here, this is how we approach them. We put Obama Deception with a double feature along with America, Freedom, and Fascism on that disc. There's also For Liberty, how the Ron Paul Revolution watered the withered tree of liberty. 2 discs in there. When we go to these senior citizens, it's primarily they're over 60, 70 years old on average. How do you get them? Oh, Obama Deception, yeah, I'm going to watch that. And they suck them in. They watch these. I start getting orders for hundreds of them later. I need more, I need more, I need more, I need more. I know how to get these guys. You get them with an education. Polls don't, they're generated by what? The questions that are asked, where they're asked. You know, this is, I don't operate by what polls are given to me by Fox News. If we did that, we had their own polls. Dr. Paul's winning all the time, but what do they say? Glenn Beck comes in doing this.